Hi, everybody. It's Erin Lawrence from Awakening Personal Power. I'm coming to you here tonight from the beautiful bedroom in West Hollywood, and I'm going to be talking about this feeling of out of control that everyone's feeling right now. So, all of the clients that I'm working with, this is a common theme that's coming up over and over again. I feel out of control. I feel like I'm not in control of my life. So, the way to feel in control is to understand how our thoughts and our feelings create our reality, and to change our thoughts and our feelings, and to see how that change manifests immediately into our physical experience, and then to remember that we made that change and make that connection to the evidence that we see back to what we did to change. So, like, what was the thought and the feeling that I changed, and what did I see in my outer environment? And making that connection is really what creates the stimulus to move forward again and again, and to continue to create, because then you know that you are the creator because you see the evidence in your reality. So I want to talk about intention setting, because we're setting intentions all of the time in our daily lives. And when people first talk about, whether it's an intention to go to the grocery store during the day and get something delicious and make a beautiful meal for you and your family, whether it's to get that next job, whether it's to be in that relationship, whether it's to be in good health, whether it's for the world to be in good health, intentions are happening all of the time in our mind, right? So when setting an intention, because usually we do it unconsciously, it's just part of the process of living, but when you consciously set an intention, you really start to learn what you're doing as a manifester in order to create your reality. So take a step back, and when you're setting your intention, what most people do, which creates this angst is, and this feeling of out of control, is they set an intention that's way beyond where they're at. And they set a huge intention because it's the thing that creates the most angst in their experience. And they want to ameliorate that in some way. They want to let that go, and they want to smooth that out, because they feel like not having that is what's creating the angst inside, when really it's the opposite. But people, when they first learn that they can manifest, they're like, oh, I want to manifest the biggest thing that's going to have the most impact on my life. But that's really not the best way to go about it, because when you set a huge goal, you're setting yourself up to fail most of the time. Because if it's something that we really, really care about, then there's a lot of resistance to having that in our experience. Because if there weren't, then that would be our experience in the moment. So we already know there's a lot of momentum going in the opposite direction of what it is that we want. And the more we want it and we see we don't have it, the more that negative emotion expands. So it's like a tug of war that's happening, where the more we want it and we see we don't have it, the more that tug of war pulls the other way. And so we're pulling in two directions, and we're really just standing still. And that's when people feel stuck. So the way around that is to take that big intention and to chunk it down into much smaller pieces, and to shoot for the smallest possible intention that you could get. So, like, I remember setting an intention for $10,000 of passive income, which was like way beyond where I was at as a real estate investor at that time. But then when I just said, okay, let me get the next investment, that's when I started making momentum. Because I remember I had that goal for like 2 or 3 years, and I wasn't going anywhere. I was making really small movements, and those movements and those successes weren't satisfying because my goal was so large. But when I said, okay, let me just do my next investment, those moves were then achievable and realistic, and they started happening over and over again. Each time they happened, I was really excited, and I wanted to go to the next thing, and I wanted to go to the next thing, and I wanted to go to the next thing. So setting an intention that's small does a lot of things to help. It creates a focus on the process instead of on the actual result. And the more you're focused on the process, the quicker and easier it'll flow, because you're not creating any tension against not having the result. The second thing is it allows you to have success early and often. The more you have success, the more you're going to want to move forward. So it creates a momentum in your experience. So that's all for today. I wish you guys success and ease in your creations. I send you blessings and love during this time. I hope you're all safe and well.